you joined LAFC this August,
Yeah.
right? Well, what was the biggest reason made you decide to move to like MLS LAFC club?
Yeah, I think it was always an opportunity for me to leave England this transfer window, and I had a lot of options to remain in the UK or remain in Europe, but I just felt that the way the MLS is growing, the infrastructures are a whole lot better than what it was when it started, and it's a lot of things that people don't see until you come out here and visit these places, and also with the World Cup being here next year, I think it's a big platform for players in this league in particular to stand out and be ready for that competition. So probably lifestyle change wise, but I'm enjoying it so far.
So how have the standard of MLS and life in LA differed from what you expected?
Yeah, I think off the park it's been, obviously that's the big bonus about coming out to California or LA to play is the lifestyle is brilliant. The weather is amazing, and I don't know if you've ever been to Scotland, but the weather is pretty damp and pretty wet there. So yeah, this has been brilliant. But yeah, in terms of the league, I feel I've fitted in pretty well into the team, and that obviously helps when you're playing, beside really good players as well. So yeah, I'm loving it so far.
So what's your life like off the pitch in LA?
Yeah, so probably golf outside football is one of my favourite things. Is one of my favourite things to do. That's Sonny shouting if you can hear him. Go and do some work, mate. Honestly, can't get a minute's peace with that guy. So yeah, golf is probably my biggest hobby outside of football, and then obviously with the weather here and back home in Scotland, there's great golf courses, but the weather doesn't always permit going out to play. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that side of LA.
So as a teammate, is there anything like something you impressed from him in training, or is there anything like interesting details?
Yeah, I would say impressed, but I knew that I wasn't surprised that the standard that that he wants to set every day in training, and I think that's had a pretty good effect on the squad as well. I think everybody that came in the summer wanted to try and bring into the changing room was a little bit more energy, and he's certainly done that. But I've been more impressed with how he is as a guy off the park. You've seen him there. He's constantly having fun, making jokes. You can tell that he's been in a locker room in England for a number of years, because I've been there as well, and it's a funny place, but. Yeah, he's a great guy. Again, he's always there for advice to help these younger players, and I don't think there's a better place in the MLS to be right now than to be a young player playing for LAFC with the kind of players we have to learn off. So yeah, hopefully the young lads around him that are in forward areas can really dip into his knowledge and develop, but hopefully he can keep scoring goals, make our jobs a little bit easier.
As you said, you and Son both played in English league before. So have you two ever discussed challenges or experiences in adapting a new area?
Yeah, probably just the weather. We both played in North London, so similar area where. To be fair, the weather is better than it is in Scotland, but it's still not great. So I think the biggest change was coming here in the heat.
Guys, I need to get used to this temperatures.
The height of summer, where the heat was 35, 36 degrees, and it was tough, man. It was tough. But yeah, I think once we got the first few games out our system, it was good.
How bad is the weather in Scotland?
Yeah, I'm probably.
Always gloomy?
Yeah, to be I think it's just because you can get all
four
every
seasons
season
in one day.
One day it could be start with being a lovely day, 5 minutes later it can be raining, and then hailstones, and then gusts of wind. So yeah, but it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's still my favourite place.
So if I want to travel to Scotland, what season is the?
Yeah, I'd go from June until June, July, September, or June, July, August. Maybe leave it in September, but yeah, go for the 3 months, and you should be pretty good.
I want to visit Scotland.
Yeah, they do a festival in Edinburgh, which is run over a month in the summer, and you usually get a lot on, a lot to do, and pretty decent weather.
I
so.
should ask you like before I plan to go to
Yeah,
Scotland.
yeah, let me know. Yeah, let me know.
For some advice.
Yeah, I'll probably give you some good golf courses to check out. But
Oh yeah, that'd be great. How does playing alongside with veteran players like Hugo or Ryan Hollingshead impact the organization and cohesion of defense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes it obviously a lot easier to settle into a club. Yeah, these people are always someone that I would go to, with advice on things, if it's off the park, on the park, things about this league, things about as you said, the organisation and the stability of the defensive unit, which I think we've found gradually. But yeah, it's obviously a pleasure to play beside a World Cup winner and also the highest scoring defender in MLS history as well. So we've got some good players back there, and I'm just hoping to try and fit in as best as possible.
So you are known for your, tough and aggressive defense, and I like it.
I'm glad.
Is there anything specific you're working on to like improve or like adapt for success in the MLS?
Yeah, I think it's a completely different style of football to back home. I think the English Championship, where I was before, was a very physical league. A lot of contacts, a lot of duels. Here, I think it's a lot more ball orientated. A lot more teams will try and play out from defence and work the ball through that way. So, yeah, I think it's more for me about trying to adapt to this style of play, which again helps when you're playing in a good team and an experienced team, which can help you through these games. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying learning a different style of football. So yeah, hopefully that can stand me in good stead.
So, what would you say is your greatest strength for, defense?
Oh God, I'm not very good at talking about myself, but probably the stuff that people don't see, like the organisation, the leadership, communication side of things. I think it's like a dying art of the game. A lot of these young players coming up, they very good players, but maybe isn't drilled into them enough how much you need to communicate on the park, specifically in defence. You can see the whole game, and I think the game for me gets a whole lot easier when I'm constantly talking. Other people might think it's annoying, but for me, even if I'm not having a great game, if I'm talking myself or talking other people through the game, I think that can help massively. So
This question is the last question,
okay.
and very basic one. So, what is your biggest goal for the future here at LAFC?
Overall, maybe become, I'm kind of coming into the years of my career where I want to try and hit, a really top level. And over the course of my career, my goal is always to be to represent my national team. So to hopefully try and get back in the squad. The group has done very well over the last couple campaigns for the World Cup qualification. So for short-term goals, hopefully try and get to the World Cup with Scotland or get back in that team. And long-term, just try and win as many trophies out here as possible. So yeah.
Great. And could you please share a final word with Korean fans who's cheering for you and the team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys so much. I didn't believe how much support the Korean fans, could bring. All over every single stadium we've been at, whether that's home, away. I think in the away games it's definitely helped us. So keep turning out in your numbers, and hopefully we can bring you guys some success.
Have you got any Korean snacks from Korean fans?
Yeah, I'm the hungriest guy ever, so I'm going to need to build
Okay, I'll put the subtitles with it.
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.